Blunt heads, blunt world, blunt universe. I'm your host with the most, here to brag, boast, celebrate, toast, and you know we came here to smoke. I'm Taylor Loose Cannon Adams. You now tuned in and locked into the Very Blunt Sports Podcast. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all here with me, and I appreciate that. So we just gonna go at it. Right now, hope y'all saw, it's been, everywhere, all over Instagram. It's been all over Twitter. It's been all over, the versus, battle site. But we got a versus battle coming on, over here at the Very Blunt Sports Podcast. Not only is we about, the sports news, sports and everything that's happening, but we over here, we influence with the hip hop culture too. It's always going to be about hip hop. I'm always going to show you how, sports and music always merge with each other and why and how. It's a real good relationship. But the versus battle, we taking it down south. Now in one corner from Port Arthur, Texas, PAT, representing, that's UGK. Even though, the late great Pimp C ain't here no more, but his spirit, will be felt in that arena in Atlanta when they doing it, Memorial Day weekend, around that time. So, and on the other corner, you got represent Memphis, Tennessee. You got 8 Ball and M.J.G. That's going to be a good battle. That's going to be a good celebration of music and everything that comes with it. I like both groups, been a fan of both groups, but I like UGK a little bit more. I think Bun B is one of the nicest lyricists ever, not just in the South, but just in rap, period. You know what I'm saying? They got international players, Anthem, Pocket Full of Stones, which is one of my favorite from the Menace to Society soundtrack. Of course, everybody, know they verses, from Big Pimpin'. People think that that's the one that put them on or put them over the top. Nah, that's just when, other people that didn't know who they was got familiar, with who they was. Like I said, 8 Ball and M.J.G, they ain't nothing to sleep on either. They definitely legends in the South, representing Memphis, Tennessee. It's just that I've always been more of a UGK fan. Shout outs to my Uncle Mike, because he was one of the only dudes that I was around that listened to a lot of, down South rap. He was a major Rap-A-Lot fan. Scarface, Willie D and the Ghetto Boys, Big Mike, you know what I'm saying, all of those dudes. So, and UGK is basically associate of Rap-A-Lot. So I'm more of a UGK fan. Not saying that I don't like 8 Ball and M.J.G, but I'm rooting for UGK on this one. Long live Pimp C, smoke something, bitch. One of my favorite, sayings that he got. So I hope y'all tune into that versus battle. Who y'all think got more hits? Who you think, gonna show out a little bit more? Is Bun B gonna strictly do UGK songs, or is he gonna dip into his solo stuff? We don't know, but he do got some good solo stuff, so definitely look out for that. Now, everybody like to talk about, certain draft classes in the NBA and in the NFL, you know what I'm saying, and they definitely do deserve to be talked about and do deserve to be mentioned. But right now, I'm on my wrestling kick right now, and one of the best draft classes that the WWE had was in 2002. That's when everybody got introduced to Brock Lesnar. That's when everybody got introduced to John Cena. That's when everybody got introduced to Batista, Dave Batista. But it's one person that's still in the WWE right now. He never left WWE. He never went to no other company. He didn't take years off and then decide to come back. He made a couple movies, but that ain't, you know what I'm saying, getting away of his WWE career, and that's Randy Orton. Now we celebrating, 20 years of those guys that I just mentioned, but the main one that stands out from all of them is Randy Orton. Why? Because he's been doing it on a more consistent basis in his 20 years, even though he had to take some time off due to injury. But he's a wrestler. He's a third-generation wrestler. His granddad, Cowboy Bob Orton Sr., that's his granddad. His dad is Bob Orton Jr. He always had the cast, and he was whacking people with it, and he was basically, Roddy Piper's right-hand man. And Randy Orton, he basically, surpassed his pops surpassed his granddad too, 14-time world champion, multiple time tag team champion. He's just smooth. What's y'all favorite, Randy Orton match, y'all favorite Randy Orton moment? You know what I'm saying? Randy Orton got, hella popular ever since, with the memes and all of this other stuff, the RKO out of nowhere. So definitely big ups and shout out to Randy, going 20 years strong. He a future Hall of Famer. And that's what we got to say about him. So big ups and salute to you, Randy. Now, speaking of Randy Orton, he was Raw Tag Team Champion with Riddle. They had a whole, unification match between them and the Usos. And the Usos had the SmackDown Tag Team belts, red, blue. For people that don't know who Jimmy and Jay Uso is, y'all might remember their dad from the Attitude Era. Their dad is Rikishi. Uncle is Umaga. Cousin is the current, WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. They part of the Samoan dynasty known as the Anoa'i family. Yokozuna is their cousin. Their most famous and popular cousin is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So they family deep. So basically, speaking of Jimmy and Jay, they unified the tag team belts. They beat RK Bro, which is, Randy Orton and Riddle. So now they got the blue belts and they got the red belts. And they gonna hopefully, merge them and unify them. And with, WWE's current title design, most of them suck. I don't like them. I mean, they all look the same. Something probably could be different. Every belt don't need to have the big WWE logo in it. But Jimmy and Jay Uso, they now the unified WWE Tag Team Champions. Good match that they had. Good match that they putting on. Right now, Jimmy and Jay, they the right-hand men, to Roman Reigns, who's the leader of the bloodline. That's what they call their group. That's what they call their faction, or whatever you want to call it. Roman Reigns, right about now, he says he's greatness on a different level mode, God mode, you know what I'm saying? And can't knock him for feeling that way. You want to know why? Because any position that you got or any profession that you in, why the hell would you want to be number two when number one is open? You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like, he got the greatness on a different level mode, aka God mode, then he got all rights to feel like that. I mean, I think I'm getting to my point where I'm, greatness on a different level mode. That ain't even to toot my horn and that ain't even to brag, but I know my power and I know my genius and I know how far, my mind gonna take me. So with that being said, basically big ups to the bloodline and their whole family. Hope y'all, enjoy, the little wrestling kick and everything that's going on. But we're going to switch it back to hip hop to let y'all know that this past week, that it was the notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls, a.k.a. Frank White, the King of New York, birthday. He would have been 50 if he still lived, but, he died tragically in 1997. I just want to know, what was your favorite album? Was it Life After Death? Was it Ready to Die? Was it Born Again? Or was it the Biggie duets? I mean, the Biggie duets, all right, I guess, depending on who you ask and what your preference is, basically at the time. So what y'all think? You know what I'm saying? Me personally, my favorite album is Life After Death. For those that don't know, that was a double disc album. So when CDs was still around, for the younger people that's watching my show. He wasn't the first one to put out a double disc album. Actually, Tupac's All Eyes on Me was, but then after that, people, somewhat followed the trend of putting out double albums. Jay-Z did it. Like I said, Biggie did it with Life After Death. Nas did it, and Outkast did it with Speaker Box and Love Below. So what was your favorite Biggie song? I mean, I'm going to just say right now, because I just got done listening to it, and it's a good motivation song. The Sky's the Limit, with 112. Well, what did y'all like? Oh, and I'm going to show y'all how Biggie basically tied into sports. Now, on that Life After Death album, he had a song called I Got a Story to Tell. everybody, was, speculating and wondering for years what New York Knicks player was he talking about. Was he talking about Patrick Ewing? Was he talking about John Starks? Was he talking about Charles Oakley? Was he talking about Derek Harper? But come to find out, in the rumors came to be true, because Fat Joe confirmed and a couple other people confirmed it. He was talking about Anthony Mason. It's a good, wild, crazy story song, to really listen to, and how he got out of that situation and everything. Basically how he thought, girly boyfriend, the Knicks player, he thought that he was out of town, in Utah playing the Jazz. It's a good song to listen to, crazy song to listen to, but that's how, the music and sports come about. One of my other favorite songs, classic Notorious Thugs, I had to throw that out there. It was produced by Stevie J. A lot of people don't give, Stevie J his production, credit, with the Hitman, but he produced a lot of Biggie stuff, Faith, 112, and he was all over the No Way Out album. So, but now he's on, I guess he's still doing reality, lies and hip hop, whatever that show is called. I ain't into that shit. But long live the king, B.I.G. You know what I'm saying? What was your favorite Biggie song? I know mine's, I also got to throw in there Last Days featuring the Locks. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, let the legend rest, let him live, let him get his flowers, his accolades, everything that he deserves. Since he died, there's been movies, documentaries written about him, speculation about who was involved with the shooting of him. Who knows? We'll never know. It's just one of those unsolved mysteries. So definitely rest in peace to B.I.G. So now that we got that up out of the way, like I said, if y'all like this video and y'all like other videos, hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment. I want to know what y'all think, and I want to know what y'all feel. But anyway, we're going to go into some basketball action. But real quick, not the NBA. We're going to be talking about the WNBA. And we're going to be talking about what Candace Parker had to say. Y'all know who Candace Parker is. She's a WNBA player. Played for the Chicago Sky. Used to play for the LA Spark. You know what I'm saying? They the current reigning, defending WNBA champions right now. But this is what she had to say. She said, female ballers don't get disrespected by NBA players. It's usually dudes that don't play basketball that disrespect the NBA. We're going to pause and smoke on that real quick. And Candace, you right. You absolutely right. It's normally the dudes that think they understand sports. First off, if you understood sports and you understood how to play, it really wouldn't matter, you know what I'm saying, what race, sex, color, creed anybody is. You would respect the sport. You respect the fact that this person is good, rather if they male, female, black, white, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with her, because most of these dudes probably still live with their mom in their mom basement. Think just because they could get online and play 2K on rookie mode and beat up on a couple of little kids or whatever and talk shit through the intercom system or headset, microphone, whatever y'all want to call it. They think, that they the best, that they could do what these trained professionals are doing. And that's far from the case. Like, most of these dudes ain't never did nothing athletic in their fucking life. They ain't never pull up, push up. All they did was sit down and sit up. Nothing athletic about doing that. And it's normally those type of dudes that got this, pig-headed sexist attitude that, you know what I'm saying, women shouldn't do or be allowed to do the same things that men do. And you're absolutely wrong. Wrong. Women ain't never looked at no man and said, that ain't a man's job, that's a woman's job. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna see a female stripper go up to a male stripper and say, you shouldn't be clapping your ass. That's women's work. Nah. Get the pig-headedness and the chauvinistic shit out of your mind. These women could ball. They've been proving that they could ball for years. You know what I'm saying? And just a little off topic, a little bit about a sport that women do better than men is the USA soccer team. The women's soccer team traditionally been better than the men's team for the past 20 to 25 years, but they get paid less than them. It's like the men's team is basically getting paid to lose and getting paid to suck, whereas, the women's soccer team, they've been winning. They have a long history of winning in the past 20 to 25 years. So I know that was a little off topic, a little off subject, but I'm bringing it all back saying basically I agree with you, Miss Candace Parker. It's normally the dudes that ain't never played organized basketball, probably can't even shoot the right way, don't even know how to plant their feet or anything like that. They the ones that's disrespecting and talking the most shit, whereas a real basketball lover and a real basketball person that appreciates and love the sport like myself could see that y'all can ball. Y'all athletic. Y'all got the talent. I wish, more networks, outside of ESPN, would broadcast, market, and promote y'all. I mean, like, what's up, We Network? Don't it stand for Women's Entertainment? Like, what's up, Lifetime? Y'all show all of these other movies and TV shows about women empowerment and all of that other stuff. What better way to show women empowerment than the WNBA? That's just my thoughts on what I've been thinking. I just like to say, yeah, I agree with Miss Parker. She got my full support. The WNBA got my full support. I love Dawn Staley. I love Diana Taurasi. Even some of the old school players, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Miller, Rebecca Lobo. You know what I'm saying? Erie's own Kayla McBride. I fucks with all of y'all. Y'all deserve y'all due diligence, and I hope y'all get it. Keeping it, on the women, you know what I'm saying, representing, for the ladies today, just for a little bit. Hosted NBA Today on ESPN. That's the ESPN show, NBA Today. Well, the host of that now, since, Rachel Nichols, got bounced up out of there, Malika Andrews, she's the host. And she will be the first woman ever to host the NBA draft. So definitely that's a big look for her. That's a definitely big look for her. Happy for her being the first woman and the first African-American woman to play host to the NBA draft. Good look on you, baby. Now, in 2024, the media rights deal that the NBA got will be up. And what does that mean? Expansion. So that means 2 new teams is coming on the horizon. One team will be in Las Vegas, rightfully so. Another team will be in Seattle. Now, I ain't got much on the story just yet, but I'm hoping, wishing, and praying that they do bring back the Seattle Supersonics. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that remember that 90s era, the Supersonics, the original Lob City, Gary Payton, and Sean Kemp, along with, other players that they had, Detlef Shrimp and Vin Baker, tripping over my own words. Hold on. Would tell you what I'm drinking, but they don't pay me for advertising. So, do y'all want to see the Seattle Supersonics come back? Real quick, Supersonics left Seattle and they went to OKC, which is Oklahoma City now. And this ain't, sending those shots to Oklahoma or the people in Oklahoma City, but I don't think y'all deserve a basketball team. Quite frankly, y'all don't even take basketball serious in the state of Oklahoma. The state of Oklahoma is forever and always will be a football state. The Oklahoma Sooners, they basically own that state. Maybe the Oklahoma State Cowboys, but like I said, what I'm saying is that's a football state. I don't think they give basketball there that much light or anything like that. So if you ask me, I don't even think Oklahoma City should have a basketball team. They should stick to the college sports that they know. And that should just be that. Like I said, they just don't, to me, they don't appreciate the basketball in that city I mean, I could be wrong. I ain't in Oklahoma City. It's just something that I've been thinking, something that, I feel, something that's on my mind. So tell me what y'all think. Las Vegas and Seattle getting, two expansion teams in 2024. Should they bring back the Seattle Seahawks? I mean, Seattle Supersonics. I said Seahawks. By the way, if y'all don't know, the NFL draft and all of that other stuff happened later down the line. We're going to get on, to the football kick. But right now, it's strictly basketball. We in the 75th anniversary of the NBA, and we down to the Final Four as far as the Dallas Mavericks, the Golden State Warriors, the Miami Heat, and the Boston Celtics. But we're going to get onto that later. But there's been a lot of beef that's been going on, a lot of beef that's been happening. People going back and forth with each other, you know what I'm saying? One of the first instances that I'm going to give you is the legend, Boston Celtic legend, NBA legend, champion, Hall of Famer, Bob Cousy. Now, y'all probably wondering, why am I talking about Bob Cousy? Bob Cousy barely says anything. Who the hell is 93-year-old Bob Cousy beefing with? Well, 93-year-old Bob Cousy is beefing with J.J. Redick. For y'all that don't know, J.J. Redick, he was a star in college. He did all right, I guess, in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? He was a good shooter, but now, he's on TV and he says a whole lot of dumb shit. He says a whole lot of shit that don't make no sense. In the words of Stephen A, it's blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about some of this blasphemy that J.J. Redick been talking now. J.J. Redick said this about Bob Cousy. Bob Cousy was being guarded by plumbers and firemen. Damn. Was he being guarded by plumbers and firemen? No. Didn't think so. Bob Cousy ain't think so either. So this is what Bob had to say. People with less talent will always try to make a name for themselves by criticizing others. I will defend the firemen and plumbers. Russell, Wilt, Elgin, Oscar, West, Havlicek, Casey, Mikan, Pettit. Those is all Hall of Famers he just named. Some of them is champions. All of them is on the 75th anniversary team. All of them was on the 50th anniversary team. I wasn't alive when they did the 25th anniversary, but I bet you these players is on the 25th anniversary team of the NBA. Where you at, J.J. Redick? Huh? Where you at? What list you on, besides the loser list? You know what I'm saying? What list did you make it on besides being a popular flunky, by being not even a 6th man, maybe a 10th man? I don't really remember him starting too much, maybe with Philly when he was there. But why all of a sudden did J.J. Redick just want to come out of his mouth and come at the legend Bob Cousy by criticizing the 1950s and the 1960s era? JJ, why? Why? What is your beef with Bob Cousy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. Like, was your mom a Bob Cousy groupie and you feel some type of way about maybe Bob Cousy and your mom had an entanglement or something? I mean, I don't know why out of everybody he would pick old ass Bob Cousy to start a beef with, but JJ, just stick to working on your analyst skills. How about we just do that and leave that subject alone, little buddy? Like I said, people just been beefing. Now we got Zach Lowe, somebody else who works for ESPN. He's talking shit on Luka Doncic. What he got to say about Luka? Here's what he said. Luka has become one of the biggest whiners in the NBA. It's constant. Every time he drives, he's whining. He spent so much energy whining to the refs and slumping his shoulders to teammates, it sucked the life out of this team many times. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if you would call Luka a flopper, a whiner, king of the flopping, king of the whining, whatever you want to call it. He knows and understands that he's a superstar. So he wants them superstar calls. You know what I'm saying? They just got to be legit superstar calls. You know what I'm saying? Somebody slap your wrists, let it go. Like, Andrew Wiggins baptized that man in the lake of Dunkawana and they called an offensive foul. I still don't understand that. Still to this day, the man got dunked on. It happens. If you underneath that rim, there's only two things that's going to happen. Either you're going to block the ball or you're going to get dunked on. Luka, your option was to get dunked on. I'm pretty sure you tried to block, but Andrew Wiggins just got up there and he just cocked it back from California and brought it all the way back to New York. And he shitted on you. You ain't the first person to get dunked on. You ain't going to be the last person to get dunked on. Would I categorize that as a disrespectful dunk? Yeah, because you fell on the ground. So, and you was looking up at that man. So, I like you, Luka. You just got dunked on. I don't think you're a whiner. I don't think you're a complainer. I think, you understanding your status as one of the elite or one of the superstars, and you want your calls. Everybody that's an elite, established superstar done got these calls. You want yours, so I can't be too mad at you. So Zach Lowe, I don't agree with you, but that's just me. Now, coming into this one, another beef. Lil Wayne versus Mark Cuban. Now, Lil Wayne started it by calling Luka a hoe. I guess he tweeted that. You know what I'm saying? And then Mark Cuban turned around and said, having you courtside at my games is a shit show. Then Lil Wayne went on to say something about he will piss in Mark Cuban's mouth. Like, wow, taking the beef a little bit too far. You know what I'm saying? First off, like, neither one of y'all ain't gonna do nothing to each other. Like, let's just be honest. One is a billionaire and the other one is a rapper that he can't keep up or keep on to his dreads. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Wayne, but it just is what it is. Cut that shit. But now, and it was crazy too. First off, I'm gonna say Lil Wayne is a bandwagoner, because if you go back and look at, long time ago, MTV Cribs, he was on there with it at the time when it was the New Orleans Hornets. He was saying he's a New Orleans Hornets fan and blah, 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 and he's willing to bet and go up against anybody about his team. Nah. Fast forward, he's in the Vibe magazine with Kobe, saying that he's always been a Lakers fan. You know what I'm saying? But then after, the whole, Hurricane Katrina thing, you know what I'm saying? Shout outs to my family in New Orleans. But after that, he was at a lot of Heat games, even though Miami, is where he lived at. He was at a lot of Heat games. He was a Heat fan. He was supporting and doing all of this other crazy shit. But when the Heat went to the finals against the Mavericks in 2011 and the Mavericks won, Lil Wayne was partying with Dirk. Dirk Nowitzki, not Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? I just had to put that out there. He was partying with Dirk. So Lil Wayne is a bandwagon fan. He gonna go with whoever is hot at the time. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wins the NBA Finals this year, I'm pretty sure Lil Wayne is gonna be partying with them. But I think the whole, beef probably started off with, of course, with, him calling Luka a hoe. I don't know why he called Luka a hoe. I don't know if it was just real random. I don't know if he was mad that the Dallas Mavericks had knocked, the Phoenix Suns out of the playoffs, sent them home packing. Now, Lil Wayne and Chris Paul, they homies, they real good friends or whatever. So that might have, drove his decision to tweet that Luka a hoe. I don't think you should call that man a hoe or anything like that, all because of whatever your reasons is. I don't even know if them two even really know each other, all like that. They even had that exchange. But a lot of people been giving Luka his praises, from Trae Young to Ja Morant to even some of the retired players. You know what I'm saying? Luka is definitely, a future star, somebody that could, possibly be one of the faces of the league. But Lil Wayne and Mark Cuban, they they made up, had a little powwow, you know, come to Jesus meeting, kumbaya, whatever you want to call it. So now that beef, you know, got squashed and over with. And it was semi-entertaining, I give it that. But we're going to move on. Like I said, more NBA news now. The all-defensive first team came about, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is the first and only unanimous decision to be on the all-defensive team and on the all-NBA team, which in the next episode, I'm going to give y'all the all-NBA first, second, and third team. But on this all-defensive first team, got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Mikal Bridges, Rudy Gobert, Jaren Jackson, and the current reigning defending defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart. The second team got Bam Adebayo, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Matisse Thybulle. I just butchered and fucked up his whole name. But he played for the 76ers. You know what I'm saying? And we got Robert Williams III, also on the Boston Celtics. So that's 2 Celtics players, 2 Bucks players, you know what I'm saying, on the first and second team. You can see how both teams, you know, produce, you know, 2 players to go on the first and the second team because they both was balling well. Milwaukee ain't balling no more. They got, you know, bounced out of the playoffs by the Boston Celtics. Still a legendary, historic, you know, performance by Giannis. So big ups and shout outs to the all defensive first and second team. Now, in the last episode, I told you I was going to get on some things. Now, we need to burn some sage around Paul Pierce and around Kevin Garnett. Why do we need to do this? They need to get some of these evil spirits, some of these evil, hateful spirits up out of their mind, up out of their heart, up out of their eyes, and out of their system. Who do they got hate for? Funny you should ask. They got hate for the king, LeBron James. Now, Kevin Garnett has said a while ago that when him, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce, you know what I'm saying, formed the Big Three, the Boston Three Party, that they ran LeBron out of Cleveland. That's false. That ain't a true statement. Like some of the young kids say today, that's cap. You know what I'm saying? That's cap. But y'all didn't run LeBron up out of Cleveland the first go around. Let me tell y'all something. LeBron left because of the owner, Dan Gilbert, and how he was treating them, and the simple fact that they didn't put nobody around him, for real. Let's just take it and rewind it back to 2007 when he went to the NBA Finals with a Cleveland team that, let's be honest, had a bunch of plumbers and firemen on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same case with, you know, AI and the 76ers team in 2001. It was AI, and then you had a bunch of, you know, plumbers and firemen. You know what I'm saying? That's one reason why he left Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? And with when they did put people around him, they gave him people out of his prime. They gave him a Shaq out of his prime. They gave him a Ben Wallace out of his prime. And they gave him an Antoine Jameson out of his prime. But he was still making it do what it do. Still went to the NBA Finals that year, even though they got swept by the San Antonio Spurs. I got, you know, teams in all words, you know what I'm saying, fucked up today. But bear with me and stick with the story. San Antonio Spurs. And there was an incident I ain't really gonna get on, you know what I'm saying, but we all, you know, familiar, you know, with the incident between, you know, him, Delonte West, and his mom. We ain't got to get into that, but I'm pretty sure anybody would feel, you know, embarrassed, you know, by that whole situation. You know what I'm saying? So Boston got together, and I give it to them, you know, granted, in the 2008, they won the championship. They won the finals, you know, they first year together, you know what I'm saying? But if Kevin Garnett gonna say that we ran LeBron out of Cleveland, you need to basically step back, take that, rewind it back, put the needle on the record, and ask yourself, what made you run from the West? Because you was there in Minnesota. You got drafted in 1995, first player to get drafted, out of high school since Moses Malone. That's a big feat to do that. You know what I'm saying? KG, I ain't here to shit on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to correct you in some of your facts, or what you think is some of your facts. Anyway, you played with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Y'all had a pretty, decent team. Couple people, came through there. Stephon Marbury, Sam Cassell, Wally Zerbiak, you know what I'm saying, others. But let's be honest, while you was in Minnesota and while you was over there in the West, just like, Ray Allen was over there in the West at the time, you know what I'm saying, with, the Seattle Supersonics. Hopefully they come back and be a team. But let's just be honest, while both of y'all was over there in the West, y'all wasn't gonna win shit. I'm gonna repeat that again. While y'all was over in the West, y'all wasn't gonna win shit. Why do you say that, Tay? Why are you so blunt about it? Listen, these is the facts. First off, we're gonna talk about the Seattle Supersonics. Wasn't a threat. We're gonna talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. Wasn't a threat. They might have been the 5th and 6th best team at that time. You know what I'm saying? They definitely wasn't better than the Sacramento Kings in the early 2000s. At that time, that had Chris Webber, Doug Christie, Mike Bibby, Peja Stojakovic, and a couple other people. So, I'm about to get to this. Stick to me. KG, you ran out the West. You know who bullied you and pushed you out the West? Shaq, Kobe, and the Lakers. You know who else bullied and pushed you up out of the West? Tim Duncan and the Spurs. Let's think about it. Now, during that whole era, you know what I'm saying, after the whole Michael Jordan era was done in 1998, 1999 rolls around, that's when the West invasion started. Who was the first team to win the NBA Finals in 99? The Spurs. Then you had the Lakers that went on the three-peat, 2000, 2001, and 2002. You know what I'm saying? Then in 03, who won? The Spurs. 04, yeah, it was the Detroit Pistons, but who was they playing? Shaq, Kobe, and the Lakers. 05, it was Tim Duncan and the Spurs. 06 might have been the only year that the Lakers and Spurs wasn't in the finals during that decade. Then you take it to 07, San Antonio Spurs. 08, that's when y'all came around. That's when you left Minnesota. You and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen formed that Boston Three Party. Now, during that time, you know what I'm saying, KG, he was All-Star Game MVP, and he was regular season MVP in 2004. You know what I'm saying? They had knocked out the Sacramento Kings, and they wound up going to the Western Conference Finals. I give them that, but who did they lose to? Shaq, Kobe, and the Lakers. Basically, what I'm saying is, if y'all ain't catch it by now, Shaq, Kobe, and the Lakers, Tim Duncan and the Spurs, while they were still over there in the West, let's be honest, KG, you wasn't getting no ring. You wasn't getting no ring. They was the ones that was bullying you from reaching your finals goals until you took a trip out east, till you went to Boston. That's just, it's the facts. It's true. While you was in Minnesota, you wasn't coming close to no NBA championship. It took for you to leave, even though, Danny Ainge somehow, Debo the deal for you to get over there. But you, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, in my opinion, formed a team together so y'all could beat the Lakers, so y'all could beat the Spurs. And it did happen. In 08, Y'all beat the Lakers. Y'all beat, Kobe Bryant team that didn't have Shaq on it. But then, 2 years later, y'all wound up losing to the Lakers. So in all reality, yeah, y'all beat Kobe. Kobe came back and beat y'all. Like I said, KG, Ray Allen, and it ain't even necessarily so Ray Allen that's doing all of this hating. Because for a while, Paul Pierce and KG didn't get along with Ray Allen because Ray Allen did some sucker-ass Kevin Durant shit. If you can't beat him, join him. And he went to Miami Heat and got another ring. Not mad at him per se. I'm just my opinion. Now some sucker shit. I don't believe in if you can't beat him, join him. Do I want to play with the best? Yeah, but do I also want to beat the best? Yeah, and that's why we starting to see basically the era of the super team is calming down and being over. Boston basically, started that super team shit. You know what I'm saying? Ray Allen really ain't been saying much. He really ain't been hating on Bron. He ain't been hating on D-Wade. You know what I'm saying? But that was just my opinion, about KG. Now we gonna, slide over into Paul Pierce lane. I don't understand what Paul Pierce, he hates LeBron. And he hates D-Wade. He's always going after them two. You know what I'm saying? Because then after a while, when the Heat team formed, they started being the bullies. They started, kicking Boston around and letting them know, like, yeah, stop all that shit. This is what we about, and this is what we going on to do. You know what I'm saying? So, Paul Pierce, man, listen, your jersey is retired in Boston. You on the 75th anniversary team, and you a Hall of Famer. Please tell me why you always hating. Please tell me why you always hating. Like, I don't get it. Sometimes you gotta let that competitive edge go. You know what I'm saying? Is you mad because ESPN fired you because you threw a lame ass party and went against whatever the day protocols or whatever it was? I don't know. Paul Pierce, is you mad because Draymond Green had said to you when you was with the Clippers, hope you don't expect no farewell tour? This is Draymond talking. He said, I hope you don't expect no farewell tour. You ain't gonna get that goodbye like Kobe. You ain't loved like that. You ain't Kobe. That probably hurt his feelings. Or a couple years later, seeing D-Wade, get the farewell tour and the goodbye and everything that, he deserved. Did that make you mad? Because you've been hating on these two a whole lot, man. Like, just let it go, bruh. L-I-G it. Let it go. Now, Paul Pierce, like I said, he played for the Celtics, played for the Brooklyn Nets. That's when they tried to make another super team, you know what I'm saying? But it just basically looked like, the Boston Celtics and Brooklyn Nets jerseys. He played for the Washington Wizards, and he played for the Los Angeles Clippers. You got 26,397 career points, 7,527 rebounds, and 4,708 assists. Like, stat-wise, points, rebounds, and assists, you can say you better than D-Wade. You really can. Because D-Wade just has 23,165 points, 4,933 rebounds, and 5,701 assists, Stat-wise, you can say you better than him, than D-Wade. Stat-wise, you ain't better than LeBron, so just get that out your head. You know what I'm saying? But accolade-wise, first off, D-Wade played for Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, and then retired and went back to the Miami Heat. Now, D-Wade is a 3-time NBA champion, Finals MVP, 13-time NBA All-Star, NBA All-Star MVP in 2010, two-time All-NBA First Team, 3-time All-NBA Second Team, 3-time All-NBA Third Team, 3-time NBA All-Defensive Second Team, NBA Community Assist Award winner, NBA Scoring Champion in 2009, and NBA All-Rookie First Team. he wasn't the Rookie of the Year that year, but neither was Paul Pierce, the Rookie of the Year in 1998 when he came through. There was a dude by the name of Vince Carter that, made you forget about all the other rookies. You know what I'm saying? Paul Pierce, you an NBA champion, Finals MVP in 08, 10-time All-Star, All-NBA second team, 3-time All-NBA third team, NBA All-Rookie first team in 1999, three-point contest winner in 2010, part of the 75th anniversary team. Like I said, your jersey, number 34, is retired, and you in the Hall of Fame, so you need to let it go. Please, please, please tell me why you always hating, man. Damn. Let it go. Let it go. Whatever you feeling, your hatred against LeBron and D-Wade and all of this other shit, man, just let it go. Hop off of the complaint train and join the Success Express, my man. Like, goddamn. Come on, bruh. Stop it. Stop it. Spend your NBA pension money. Spend your retirement money. Do something with yourself. And then Paul Pierce said that LeBron can't lead a franchise. You see my face? Anyway. But like I said, man, let it go, Paul Pierce. Definitely before I sign out, you know what I'm saying, before I put the blunt out, before the blunt, is, offline and not in session no more, I definitely got to give a big thank you and a big shout outs, to my cousin Marcus. You know what I'm saying? He watches, my show faithfully. You know what I'm saying? He's a big fan of it. He supported. I just want to say thank you, little cousin. When we get this merchandise, you know what I'm saying, up and running, be first one, you know what I'm saying, that I give a t-shirt to. Like I said, y'all like this video, y'all like other videos, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Make sure, y'all keep watching, even after, my outro come on. It's like a Marvel movie, just keep reading the credits. I'm going to give you, all my info, all of my social media platforms and everything, that I'm doing and everything, how you can reach me, the official Very Blunt Sports Podcast, Facebook group page. Hope y'all like that. Please come be a part of it. I'm going to have all my social media handle, like I said, just keep reading the credits. We're about to roll out, you know what I'm saying? Love yourself. Love yours. If it's real, they're going to feel it. If it's real, it can't be ignored or denied, and that's what I bring to you. The blunt is now over. The session is over. Blunt talk done and over with. We up out of here. Love yours.
I don't need a fucking cosigner to post rhymes for controversy. I'm calculated, your validation does not concern me. You created a character you can market, but I'm sharp enough to sharpen my view whenever you charge him. I can